Joining us now to talk about his job as the Code Enforcement Director for West Bloomfield Town Hall is Erik Beauchamp. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Erik.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Erik, could you first explain your position as the Code Enforcement Director for West Bloomfield and what you oversee on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I oversee the Code Enforcement Department. We enforce a multitude of township ordinances that are geared towards preventing blight and preserving West Bloomfield Township as a desired place to reside and conduct business.
Erik, you have a variety of different responsibilities at West Bloomfield Town Hall, including dealing with complaints regarding blight. Could you elaborate on that and what that means and how you deal with it at Town Hall?
Yeah, so our main objective is to assist residents in their concerns and enforce township ordinances that are mainly geared towards eliminating blight in the township so we can maintain property values. So oftentimes we will get concern from a resident that a violation may exist, and we attempt to speak to that responsible person, whether it's a residential homeowner or a business owner, advise them of the situation and what they can do to comply, and we work mutually in that capacity until we can gain compliance.
Erik, could you also go into a little bit of detail about some of those ordinances and what a resident here in West Bloomfield should make sure they're keeping up to date on with their house?
Sure. So mainly we want people to maintain their properties to minimum property maintenance standards, cutting your grass, keeping your outside appearance, your curb appeal on your home up to, like I said, minimum maintenance standards. And just like I said, cutting grass and keeping your property kept up so we can maintain property values within the township. And the same with business owners. Oftentimes, a lot of signage is put out, and that can have a blighting effect on our community. So we want to make sure that everybody's just keeping up their properties to minimum maintenance standards.
Erik, you guys also issue those misdemeanor tickets for non-compliance. Could you talk about that issue and how you go about issuing those misdemeanor tickets, what the process of that looks like?
Absolutely. So we issue tickets only as a last resort to gain compliance. We attempt, like I said, to speak to that resident or business owner on how they can comply. Unfortunately, sometimes as a last resort, we do have to issue citations, but I want to stress that, again, our main goal is compliance. Not all of our citations are misdemeanor violations. We do have some that are civil infractions, but either way, if we do have to issue a citation, you're then appeared to go to the 48th District Court, and that at that point, we will work to resolve the matter in a court arena. So oftentimes you may pay a small fine, and that misdemeanor violation is not put on your record, but it is a little bit of a nuisance to have to go to court. We don't want to go that direction. We don't really write too many tickets throughout the year, but unfortunately, like I said, on occasion, it does come down to that, and we are forced to do that from time to time.
And Erik, for some of those citations, what are some of the issues that arise either last year or this year as we head into 2022? What are some of the citations that West Bloomfield residents should make sure that they're complying to?
So, like I said, a lot of our violations are blight violations, some miscellaneous junk, trash, and debris, inoperable vehicles, or lack of property maintenance, outdoor storage items that haven't been properly removed or stored inside a garage or a shed or somewhere out of sight. So I think as long as people are maintaining their properties to minimum maintenance standards, they don't have a lot of outdoor storage items that could be considered blight. They don't have inoperable vehicles without plates or flat tires sitting in their driveway. Those are mainly the violations that exist or that we come across.
And Eric, once a resident of West Bloomfield, if they do get one of those misdemeanor tickets for noncompliance, and they do end up going to the court for that, what are some of the court procedures that you guys deal with once someone gets one of those misdemeanor charges?
Well, the first thing you'll have to do is you'll have to appear in court or on Zoom, while we're still dealing with this pandemic. And then you will get arraigned, and you will plead guilty or not guilty. Then a pretrial will be set up where you'll be talking to our prosecutor. We will discuss what the township's goals are for compliance and what the penalties may be for non-compliance. And go ahead.
Eric, with the COVID-19 pandemic, as you mentioned, was there any other difficulties that you guys had in the code enforcement department, making sure that people are complying and making sure that their houses are up to date?
During the pandemic, is that what you were asking? I'm
yes.
Confused. We didn't experience any additional issues during the pandemic. It actually, things were a little more quiet during that time as people were kind of contained in their homes and not out as much. When you're out and about, people tend to notice more things or violations that occur around them. So I would say, if anything, it was a little quieter during that period.
Eric, as we wrap up, are there any other details that you wanted to share about the code department, or any other updates you have in West Bloomfield Town Hall?
No, I just think it's important for the residents and business owners to know that the township or the code enforcement department is more of a complaint-driven department. We're not out there actively seeking violations within our township unless it's something really egregious, like super tall grass or an extremely blighted property. We're not proactively looking for violations. Our residents of this township often make us aware of an issue or a concern that they have. And like I said, we're more complaint driven. We issue citations as a last resort for compliance. We'd rather work mutually with our business owners and property owners to gain compliance through education and mutual cooperation.
Well, Eric, thank you so much for taking time out of your morning and joining us here on the Splash Live.
All right, thank you for having me.